Dame Eileen June Atkins, DBE, is an English actress and occasional screenwriter. She has worked in the theatre, film, and television consistently since 1953. She has won several major acting awards, including a BAFTA, an Emmy and 3 Oliviers. She was appointed Commander of the Order of the British Empire in 1990 and Dame Commander of the Order of the British Empire in 2001. Atkins joined the Royal Shakespeare Company in 1957 and made her Broadway debut in the 1966 production of The Killing of Sister George, for which she received the first of 4 Tony Award nominations for Best Actress in a Play in 1967. She received subsequent nominations for Vivat Regina in 1972, Indiscretions in 1995 and The Retreat from Moscow in 2004. In the UK, she has won 3 Olivier Awards, for Best Supporting Performance in 1988 and 2 for Best Actress, for An Unexpected Hour in 2001 and Honor in 2004. Other stage credits include, Twelfth Night, The Tempest, Exit the King with Alec Guinness, The Promise, The Night of the Tribades, Medea, A Delicate Balance with Maggie Smith and Out. For television, she co-created Upstairs, Downstairs and The House of Eliot with Jean Marsh. In 2008, she won a BAFTA TV Award and an Emmy Award for her role opposite Judi Dench in the BBC drama Cranford. Her film roles include Equus, The Dresser, Let Him Have It, Wolf, Jack and Sarah, Gosford Park, Evening, Last Chance Harvey and Robin Hood. She also wrote the screenplay for the 1997 film version of Mrs. Dalloway, starring Vanessa Redgrave. Early life: Atkins was born in the Mothers' Hospital in Clapton, a Salvation Army maternity hospital in East London. Her mother, Annie Ellen, was a barmaid who was 46 when Eileen was born, and her father, Arthur Thomas Atkins, was a gas meter reader who was previously under chauffeur to the Portuguese ambassador. She was the 3rd child in the family, and when she was born the family moved to a council home in Tottenham. Her father did not, in fact, know how to drive and was responsible, as under chauffeur, mainly for cleaning the car. At the time Eileen was born, her mother worked in a factory the whole day and then as a barmaid in the Elephant and Castle at night. When Eileen was 3, a gypsy woman came to their door selling lucky heather and clothes pegs. She saw little Eileen and told her mother that her daughter would be a famous dancer. Her mother promptly enrolled her in a dance class. Although she hated it, she studied dancing from age 3 to 15 or 16. From age 7 to 15, which covered the last 4 years of the Second World War, she danced in working men's club circuits for 15 shillings a time as baby Eileen. During the war, she performed as well at London's stage door canteen for American troops and sang songs like Yankee Doodle. At one time she was attending dance class 4 or 5 times a week. By 12, she was a professional in panto in Clapham and Kilburn. Once, when she was given a line to recite, someone told her mother that she had a Cockney accent. Her mother was appalled, but speech lessons were too expensive for the family. Fortunately, a woman took interest in her and paid for her to be educated at Parkside Preparatory School in Tottenham. Eileen Atkins has since publicly credited the principal, Miss D. M. Hall, for the wise and firm guidance under which her character developed. From Parkside she went on to Latimer's Grammar School in Edmonton, London. One of her grammar school teachers who used to give them religious instruction, a Reverend Michael Burton, spotted her potential and rigorously drilled away her Cockney accent without charge. He also introduced her to the works of William Shakespeare. She studied under him for 2 years. When she was 14 or 15 and still at Latimer's, she also attended drama demonstration sessions twice a year with this same teacher. At around this time, her first encounter with Robert Atkins took place. She was taken to see Atkins' production of King John at the Regent's Park Open Air Theatre. She wrote to him saying that the boy who played Prince Arthur was not good enough and that she could do better. Robert Atkins wrote back and asked that she come to see him. On the day they met, Atkins thought she was a shop girl, and not a schoolgirl. She gave a Little Prince speech and he told her to go to drama school and come back when she was grown up. Reverend Burton came to an agreement with Eileen's parents that he would try to get her a scholarship for one drama school and that if she did not get the scholarship he would arrange for her to do a teaching course in some other drama school. Her parents were not all keen on the fact that she would stay in school until 16 as her sister had left at 14 and her brother at 15, but somehow they were convinced. Eileen was in Latimer's until 16. Out of 300 applicants for a RADA scholarship, she got down to the last 3 but was not selected, so she did a 3-year course on teaching at the Guildhall School of Music and Drama. But, although she was taking the teaching course, she also attended drama classes and in fact performed in 3 plays in her last year. This was in the early 1950s. In her 3rd and last year she had to teach once a week, an experience she later said she hated. She graduated from Guildhall in 1953. As soon as she left Guildhall she got her first job with Robert Atkins in 1953, as Jaquenetta in Love's Labour's Lost at the same Regent's Park open-air theatre where she was brought to see Robert Atkins' King John production years before. She was also, very briefly, an assistant stage manager at the Oxford Playhouse until Peter Hall fired her for impudence. She was also part of repertory companies performing in Billy Butlin's holiday camp in Skegness, Lincolnshire. It was there when she met Julian Glover. It took 9 years before she was working steadily. Stage: she joined the Guild Players Repertory Company in Bangor, County Down, Northern Ireland as a professional actress in 1952. She appeared as the nurse in Harvey at the Repertory Theatre, Bangor, in 1952. In 1953 she appeared as an attendant in Love's Labour's Lost at the Regent's Park open-air theatre. Her London stage debut was in 1953 as Jaquenetta in Robert Atkins's staging of Love's Labour's Lost at the open-air theatre in Regent's Park. Atkins has regularly returned to the life and work of Virginia Woolf for professional inspiration. She has played the writer on stage in Patrick Garland's adaptation of A Room of One's Own and also in Vita and Virginia, winning the Drama Desk Award for Outstanding One-Person Show for the former and screen. She also provided the screenplay for the 1997 film adaptation of Woolf's novel Mrs. Dalloway, and made a cameo appearance in the 2002 film version of Michael Cunningham's Woolf-themed novel, The Hours. Atkins joined the Royal Shakespeare Company in 1957 and stayed for 2 seasons. She was with the Old Vic in its 1961 Euro 62 season. Her stage performances from 1957 include Cymbeline at the Shakespeare Memorial Theatre, Stratford-upon-Avon, July 2, 1957 Press Night, The Tempest at the Shakespeare Memorial Theatre, Stratford-upon-Avon, August 13, 1957 Press Night, The Vigil at the Shakespeare Memorial Theatre, Stratford-upon-Avon, October 21, 1957 Press Night, The Tempest at the Theatre Royal, Drury Lane, London, December 5, 1957 Press Night, Romeo and Juliet at the Shakespeare Memorial Theatre, Stratford-upon-Avon, April 8, 1958 Press Night, Hamlet at the Shakespeare Memorial Theatre, Stratford-upon-Avon, June 3, 1958 Press Night, Pericles at the Shakespeare Memorial Theatre, Stratford-upon-Avon, July 8, 1958 Press Night, Much Ado About Nothing at the Shakespeare Memorial Theatre, Stratford-upon-Avon, August 26, 1958 Press Night, Romeo and Juliet and Hamlet on Tour, December 12, 1958 Euro January 5, 1959, Roots, Bristol Old Vic, February 1961, The Square, Bromley Little Theatre, Kent, April 1961, Twelfth Night, Old Vic, October 2, 1961 Press Night, Richard III, Old Vic. March 6, 1962 Press Night, The Tempest, Old Vic, May 29, 1962 Press Night, Semi-Detached, Saville Theatre, London, December 5, 1962 Press Night, The Provoced Wife, Georgian Theatre and Vaudeville Theatre, July 1963, Exit the King, Edinburgh Festival and Royal Court Theatre, 1963, The Sleeper's Den, Royal Court Theatre, February 28, 1965 Opening Night, The Killing of Sister George, Bristol Old Vic, 1964 Euro 66. Duke of York's, 1965. St. Martin's, 1966, The Killing of Sister George, Belasco Theatre, New York, October 5, 1966 April 1, 1967, The Restoration of Arnold Middleton, Royal Court, 1966 67, The Promise, Henry Miller's Theatre, New York, November 14 December 2, 1967 with Ian McKellen and Ian McShane. On opening night the audience was picketed by local equity members chanting that only American actors should be allowed on Broadway. Their wish was soon granted as this play closed after 23 performances. The Cocktail Party, Chichester Festival Theatre, 1968, Vivat Regina. Piccadilly, October 8, 1970 1971, Vivat Regina. Broadhurst Theatre, New York, January 20 April 29, 1972, Susanna Andela, Aldwych Theatre, London, March 7, 1973 Press Night, As You Like It, Shakespeare Memorial Theatre, Stratford-upon-Avon, June 12, 1973 Press Night, Heartbreak House, Aldwych, February 20, 1975 Opening Night, The Night of the Tribades, Helen Hayes Theatre, New York, 13 October 22, 1977, St Joan, Aldwych, Turin Liverpool Playhouse, 1977 78, The Ladies Not for Burning, 1978, Twelfth Night, Aldwych. 1978, Passion Play, Aldwych Theatre, London, January 13, 1981 Press Night, Sergeant Musgrave's Dance, Aldwych, 1983 84, Medea, Young Vic Theatre, 1985 86, The Winter's Tale, Contesluth Theatre, February 5, 1988 Opening Night, Cymbeline, Contesluth Theatre, October 5, 1988 Opening Night, Mountain Language, Lyttelton Theatre, October 17, 1988 Opening Night, Exclusive, Theatre Royal in Bath, 1988 89, A Room of One's Own, adapted by Patrick Garland, Theatre Royal in Bath, 1990 91, The Night of the Iguana, Lyttelton Theatre, January 31, 1992 Opening Night, Vita and Virginia, Minerva Theatre, Augusta September 1992, Ambassadors Theatre, London, 1993 94, and Union Square Theatre, 1994 This play was written by Atkins based on the letters and diaries of Virginia Woolf and Vita Sackville West, Indiscretions, Ethel Barrymore Theatre, April 27 November 4, 1995, John Gabriel Balkman, Lyttelton Theatre, July 15, 1996 Opening Night, Herman Leon Virginia Woolf, Contesluth Theatre. October 18, 1996 Opening Night, A Delicate Balance, Haymarket Theatre, October 21, 1997 April 4, 1998, The Unexpected Man, The Pit, London, April 15, 1998 Press Night, The Unexpected Man, Duchess Theatre, London, June 15, 1998 Press Night, The Unexpected Man, Promenade, New York, October 24, 2000 Opening Night, Honor, Contesluth Theatre, February 21, 2003 Opening Night, The Retreat from Moscow, Booth Theatre, New York, October 23, 2003 February 29, 2004, The Birthday Party. Duchess Theatre, London, April 20 June 25, 2005, Doubt, Walter Kerr Theatre, New York, January 17 July 2, 2006, The Sea, Theatre Royal, Haymarket, January 21 April 19, 2008, The Female of the Species, Vaudeville Theatre, July 16 October 4, 2008, Harold Pinter, A Celebration, Olivier Theatre, June 7, 2009, All That Fall by Samuel Beckett, Jermyn Street Theatre, October 11 November 3, 2012, Transfer to the Arts Theatre, 6 November 24, 2012. For this she won an Off-West End Theatre Best Actress Award in February 2013, All That Fall by Samuel Beckett, 59U59 Theatre, New York City, November 12 December 8, 2013, Ellen Terry with Eileen Atkins, Sam Wanamaker Playhouse, January 12 February 23, 2014, The Witch of Edmonton, directed by Gregory Doran, Swan Theatre, October 23 November 29, 2014, film and television. She appeared as Maggie Clayhanger in all 6 episodes of Arnold Bennett's Hilda Lessways from May 15 to June 19, 1959, produced by the BBC Midlands with Judi Dench and Brian Smith. She helped create 2 television series. Along with fellow actress, Jean Marsh, she created the concept for an original television series, Behind the Green Baize Door, which became the award-winning ITV series Upstairs, Downstairs. Marsh played Maid Rose for the duration of the series, but Atkins was unable to accept a part because of stage commitments. The same team was also responsible for the BBC series The House of Eliott. Her film and television work includes Sons and Lovers, Oliver Twist, Titus Andronicus, A Better Class of Person, Roman Holiday, The Lost Language of Cranes, Cold Comfort Farm, Talking Heads, Madame Bovary, David Copperfield, Wit and Bertie and Elizabeth, Cold Mountain, What a Girl Wants, Vanity Fair, Ballet Shoes and Ask the Dust. In the autumn of 2007, she co-starred with Judi Dench and Michael Gambon in the BBC One drama Cranford, playing the central role of Miss Deborah Jenkins. This performance earned her the 2008 BAFTA Award for Best Actress, as well as the Emmy Award. In 2009, Atkins played the evil nurse Edwina Kenchington in the BBC Two black comedy site Juville. Atkins replaced Vanessa Redgrave as Eleanor of Aquitaine in the blockbuster movie Robin Hood, starring Russell Crowe, which was released in the UK in May 2010. The same year, she played Louisa in the dark comedy film, Wild Target. Atkins and Jean Marsh, creators of the original 1970s series of Upstairs, Downstairs, were among the cast of a new BBC adaptation, shown over the winter of 2010-11. The new series is set in 1936. Marsh again played Rose while Atkins was cast as the redoubtable Maud, Lady Holland. In August 2011, it was revealed that Atkins had decided not to take part in the new series as she was reportedly unhappy with the scripts. In September 2011, Atkins joined the cast of ITV comedy drama series Doc Martin, playing the title character's aunt, Ruth Ellingham. She returned as Aunt Ruth for the show's 6th series in September 2013. Atkins starred as Lady Spence with Matthew Rhys in an adaptation of Daphne du Maurier as The Scapegoat, shown in September 2012. Personal life: Atkins was married to actor Julian Glover in 1957. They divorced in 1966. She married her current husband, Bill Shepherd, on February 2, 1978. Atkins was propositioned by Colin Farrell on location in 2004. Shortly before she turned 70. She said the incident helped her pass that milestone far more easily than she otherwise would have expected. The Oldie magazine awarded her the Refugee Cynic of the Year award for this incident. In 1997, she wrote the screenplay for Mrs. Dalloway, starring Vanessa Redgrave. It received rave reviews but was a box office failure. It was a financial disaster for Atkins and her husband, who had invested in the film. She said about this incident, "I have to work. I was nearly bankrupted over Mrs. Dalloway, and if you are nearly bankrupted, you are in trouble for the rest of your life. I don't have a pension. In any case, it doesn't hurt me to work. I think it's quite good, actually. All through my career I have tried to do new work, but there is a problem in the West End as far as new work is concerned. As a theatre goer, I get bored with seeing the same old plays again and again. I felt terrible the other night because I bumped into Greta Scacchi and she asked me if I was coming to see her in the Deep Blue Sea. I said, Greta, I'm so old, I've seen it so many times. I've seen it with Peggy Ashcroft, with Vivian Leigh, with Googie Withers, with Penelope Wilton, and I played it myself when I was 19. I can't bring myself to see it again." She was very sweet about it. Health: in 1995, she was diagnosed with breast cancer, treated and has recovered. Honours: Atkins was created a Commander of the Order of the British Empire in 1990. She was made a Dame Commander of the Order of the British Empire on her 67th birthday, June 16, 2001. On June 23, 2010 she was conferred the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa, by Oxford University. On December 5, 2005 she received the degree of Doctor of Arts, honoris causa, from City University London. She is a member of the American Theatre Hall of Fame. She was inducted in 1998. Awards and nominations. Note: Atkins also received an honorary Drama Desk Award in 1995. Filmography, film, television, references. External links: Eileen Atkins at the Internet Movie Database, Eileen Atkins at the Internet Broadway Database, Eileen Atkins interviewed by Beth Stevens about performing in Doubt on Broadway, Eileen Atkins interviewed on Theatre Talk about performing in Doubt on Broadway, performance details listed at the Theatre Collection Archive, University of Bristol, Zucker, Carol. Eileen Atkins. In the Company of Actors, Reflections on the Craft of Acting. London, A&C Black, 1999, ppA 1:16. List of performances at the Royal Shakespeare Company Archive Catalogue, List of performances at the National Theatre Archive Catalogue, List of performances at the Internet Broadway Database.